first cornerstone to your self-care involves cultivating an intuitive and compassionate relationship to your body. Our bodies are telling us all the time when we feel good, when we feel bad, when we feel stress, when we feel calm. We're just not always that great at listening. One of the main things we can control with regards to how our bodies feel is the fuel that we put into it, our food choices. I had made the suggestion in a previous video that you might start to keep a little journal and write into it what you are eating and how you are feeling afterwards. I want to be clear that I do not want to tell you what to eat or what not to eat. I want you to think and feel for yourself. Your relationship with food is like any other relationship. It needs to be nurtured, trust needs to be developed, and forgiveness will be required. I can tell you that when I choose foods that are high in sugar, gluten, and dairy, my body does not feel good. They leave me feeling bloated and cranky. I often inevitably turn to those foods when I'm feeling overwhelmed or down in the dumps, and then it just becomes a cycle. I feel bad. I eat my trigger foods. I feel bad for my choices, both physically and mentally, and it starts all over again. It can easily lead to a few extra pounds in a very short time. And then I get serious. I eat a really clean, restricted diet in the hopes that I'll lose those few pounds. The problem with drastically cutting calories is that your body no longer trusts you. You start holding on to water, fat, and pounds because your body feels the threat of too little nourishment. It's in our DNA. It's survival. So in order to cultivate that healthy, trusting relationship with our bodies, we need to feed it whole foods, real foods, at regular intervals throughout the day, in moderate portions, and drink plenty of water. Anything packaged or processed, anything that doesn't occur in nature is not going to be perceived as fuel for the body, therefore cravings will occur. And it's often not the food that you're craving that you need, it's the nutrients. For example, if you're craving sugar, your body really wants fruit and vegetables. If you're craving starch, your body really wants whole grains. And we're not talking about your mind here, we're talking about your body, remember. We need to balance that connection again. And it'll take some time to rewire that connection. That's where the forgiveness comes in. Instead of beating yourself up, remind yourself that you are repatterning your behavior. You did not become how you are overnight. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes practice. And guess what? It's okay to still have those treats now and then. Life is meant to be enjoyed. So if you enjoy ice cream, eat ice cream. But I think that you'll find over time, as you become healthier, you'll notice that the foods that you often think are your treats will not taste as good, and you don't feel very good after you indulge in them. Some of the ways that you might experience being out of balance in your body might be digestive. You might feel constipated or bloated and have that belly distension or diarrhea. You might have indigestion, nausea, or heartburn. You might experience inflammation in your muscles and your joints, or even on your skin, like acne, psoriasis, or eczema. And you might feel lethargic or even have trouble sleeping. All of these symptoms can often be traced to the mind-body connection associated directly with food. One thing that we need to understand is that all of us eats for reasons that are emotional, whether we struggle with weight or not. That's why they call it comfort food. So ask yourself, what did you do the last time you felt sad or lonely or scared? Did you reach for chocolate or cookies or ice cream? I know I have, and it was never a reasonable portion. But when you think about how you felt after you used food for comfort, I'm guessing that it was worse and not better. So the next time that you feel uncomfortable, sad or lonely or frustrated or afraid, take a moment to let that emotion register. It's a sign from your hard-working body. Pay attention to it. Acknowledge this discomfort and don't try to push it away. Let it be. And then be patient, kind, and forgiving. If you feel that you've made a mistake to cause you any of these emotions, forgive yourself. We're all so quick to blame and judge ourselves for just about anything. And then we try and numb our feelings in any way that we can, not only with food, but with alcohol, drugs, shopping, gambling, television, or endless scrolling on social media. But when we allow ourselves to feel our feelings, we are at much less risk of trying to cover them up with bad choices. Here's a few things that you might want to do instead the next time you're faced with a situation when you want to numb your feelings. Take a bath with lavender salts. Lavender is really calming. Or treat yourself to a massage or a pedicure. Visit a museum or an art gallery and surround yourself with the beauty of creativity. Call a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Put your headphones on and go out for a long walk. Your choices are limitless. The idea is to give yourself a positive, motivating distraction, one that gives you pleasure and feeds your senses. In other words, reward yourself instead of indulging, and remind yourself that you're trying to reset the mind-body connection. Create new habits and push away old ones that keep you stuck in a lifestyle that you no longer want and that no longer serves you. Be gentle and kind to yourself. It's a very important part of nurturing this intuitive relationship with your body. You need to be able to listen with clarity and trust that most of the time you will do the right thing. You're not fighting against yourself, you're reclaiming yourself over and over again if you need to. The thing that I wish for all women is self-acceptance. This goes so much deeper than how we look. We're being held to a bizarre standard of perfection in our culture today, and it messes with our heads. When we learn to love ourselves exactly as we are much more inclined to treat ourselves well, to eat well, and to lavish ourselves with self-care in all of its forms. The love and beauty comes from inside. The outside is just a product of that love and care. So don't be afraid. Go inside yourself. Get intimately acquainted with how you feel. Embrace yourself as you are and find compassion for yourself. When you do, you will find yourself growing into exactly who you are meant to be.